Aloha! Welcome to class, everybody. Noble's on his way over here, and it's great to see you guys in the chat already. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And here's Noble. Here, sit over here.
Oh, you give me the low seat, huh?
There.
Hi, everybody. Glad you could join us again. And again, we are ready for another Stop the Pain program. And I'm instructed to move to the left. My son is separating me from my wife. And yet God says, let no man separate husband and wife. So why don't we open up in prayer and we'll start the day off.
Okay.
Well, I should say the evening. For most of you, it's dark. All right, honey, you want to lead us?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Dear Father God, we thank you so much for bringing us together for another Stop the Pain class. We ask to bless all those who are participating with us and just have your hand on everyone as you're bringing them closer to you, Father God. That's the ultimate goal. And we ask that you speak through Noble tonight and that you bring those who are supposed to be here to hear the message. We ask all this in Yeshua's name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you,
All right,
honey.
honey. Take
All right.
it away.
Go back to your chat box. Say hi to Tammy and Adrian, right? It's on there too.
Yeah.
My favorite Aussie, Adrian. All right. And Marvelly. All right. Adrian, not to be confused with Rocky's Adrian. Yo, Adrian. Okay, so what do we do? Last week we had quite a few things to show you guys, and we had Alan Pagba come and teach us how to make aloe water, and then I made a demonstration on a smart meter cage, okay? And you remember this, made out of aluminum screening with a giant clamp that, again, you can easily put over your smart meter at your house, and hopefully for your neighbor's house if your neighbor's house is pointing at you. But the big thing is, again, is going over the effects of EMFs, or electromagnetic radiation. And electromagnetic radiation is, I can't see anything with my glasses, I'm taking this thing off. Whoa. And so here, EMFs, again, has so many effects on you, so many effects. Why don't we go over the four types of EMFs also. First of all, this is a review. I've went over this before, and I just want you guys to know that these fields, EMF stands for electromagnetic fields, EMFs. And there are four types of fields, okay? The first one, not necessarily the first one listed here, is your alternating current, okay? Not air conditioning, but alternating current magnetic field. Number two is your alternating current electric field. And number three is your RF, your radio frequency, okay, fields. And then number four is your dirty electricity, or high frequency transients. These are the four types of EMFs that we need to look at when it comes to proofing your house. Okay, it's all about proofing where you live, because again, unless you're homeless, you don't have to worry about some of this, but you still have to worry about a few. But most people are not homeless, again, and thank God, because it's nice to have a roof over your head, especially when it rains or snows, right? But in your house, there are many things that are out to get you. Here you're thinking that when mom told you those scary stories that if you don't go to sleep, the boogeyman's going to get you. You know what? Mom really wasn't kidding. Only thing is that she did not describe what the boogeyman was. Because the boogeyman actually comes in the form of EMFs. That is the boogeyman, okay? And he's got 4 brothers, okay? So Mr. EMF, again, is out there to get you. And believe me, this is serious stuff. It's not kind of just to scare you to go to sleep. It's scare you to get you sick, scare you to get you ill, scare you to get you into the hospital, and scare you to kill you, okay? So very serious topic. And yet I make light of it because, again, not everybody wants a really serious program because it gets kind of boring. But the truth of the matter is that this stuff will kill you, okay? And now that we've gone through the review of what EMFs are, last week I started to talk about how it affects the body, and I got 2 slides deep into it, okay? it reduces melatonin. Okay, and this is just a quick review. Melatonin again is elicited by the pineal gland that's in your brain, size of a rice grain. Okay, and yet this gland is so important because it again sets up your circadian system. Okay, it tells you when to sleep, it tells you when to wake up, and the rest that you're getting, you know, that REM 1, REM 2, REM 3, and REM 4, so important, especially getting to REM 4. A lot of the healing in the body is done when you get to the entire cycle of sleep. And in what, 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep that you can get, hopefully restful sleep, your body has gone through about 4 cycles. You're getting maybe about 3 to 4 cycles of REM 1 to REM 4, and that is healthy. That's very good. But melatonin is now affected when you are on your, let's see, on your phone, on your tablet, on your iPad. It's affected by the blue light that comes from the screen. Okay, and you notice here, the blue light is going to be hindering the melatonin process, the making process. And now, what does that mean? Well, then now the melatonin that's supposed to affect the free radicals that's in your body is not doing so. Okay, and free radicals are not good for you. The body can contain some of it, but when there's an overload of it, it's going to say, I'm overwhelmed, I can't keep up, we're getting overrun, you know, and next thing you know, you're sick, you're ill, or you're dead. Okay, that's simple. Melatonin, again, is found in most living organisms, fungi, plants, and animals. Okay, it is, again, here's your circadian rhythm. It's chronobiotic. Okay, it operates your sleep-wake cycle. Okay, it also establishes when puberty starts in your children. Okay, and if there's a lack of melatonin, pre-puberty starts. And for a child to have puberty earlier than later in life is not a good thing, because they've found studies saying that it is a cause of cancer. Okay, so if you have young teens that have not gotten into puberty yet, guess what? They will be if you keep them on your phones, tablets, and iPads. Okay, get them away from that blue light. Allow them to get a good night's sleep. Melatonin is also a mood and behavior modifier. Okay, if you don't have much of it, guess what? You get moody. You get behavioral issues. And now don't blame your wife or your husband if they're moody. Okay, it's probably the fact that they're not getting good sleep, and it's melatonin. All right. Melatonin is an antioxidant. Now, a lot of people talk about how important it is to have antioxidants to fight those free radicals in your body. So true. And they talk about taking whole fruit, wholesome organic food, blueberries, strawberries, dark greens, food that is high in antioxidants. But nothing's higher than melatonin when it comes to antioxidants. So keep that in mind. Melatonin is an oncostatic, okay? And it takes care of cancer, okay? It fights cancer. So you want as much melatonin as your body can produce, okay? It regulates your immune function. Oh, how important is that? Especially with the snake bites, that's being administered around the world. Government agencies saying, hey, this is a mandate. You need this. For those of you that haven't done it, smart call. Because that snake bite will again affect your immune system, especially your white blood cells. Okay, all right. So that's as far as I got to last week, and I know I'm kind of rocking this really fast. I got to slow down. I guess I get a little excited because this is really important. So a drink of water to calm me down. Deep breath. Okay.
Everyone's saying hi in the chat.
Hi, everybody. You.
So that they really appreciate these teachings.
Oh.
They just came in the chat.
Hey, right on. Wild Dino?
WYO.
Oh, Wyo. Oh, like Wyoming, but Wyo. Okay. Are you from Wyoming by any chance?
Possibly, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Lance is there too. This time.
Brother Lance, how you doing, buddy? All right, so back to the lessons, guys. Okay. How does EMF affect your body? It increases the permeability of your blood-brain barrier. What the heck is that? You just threw 5 big words at me. Okay. Permeability, blood-brain, and then for those of you that are children, increases in barrier. 5 big words. All right. Permeability is it's like a contact lens. You ever wear soft contact lenses? And see, the hard ones wouldn't allow any air in, but the soft contact lenses would allow oxygen, air through. It's permeable. In other words, it's like a screen where things can go through. Small things, but not big things, but small things. When it comes to your blood-brain barrier, if you are lacking in melatonin, you're gonna have the radiation going through this barrier and affecting your brain. Okay, you ever do this on your cell phone? Hi, how you doing? Chat. Hours later, especially if you're a chatterbox, this is not good because the radiation from your phone is going in from this side, and if you're a child and maybe a preteen, it'll go right through your skull. For an adult, it'll probably go about halfway. So, you ever see those pictures where you see half the face? This is exactly how much it goes through your skull when you're on your phone up against your ear. This blood-brain barrier, which is a really twisty word, say that 3 times fast, okay? Melatonin keeps the barrier intact, and the radiation won't find it as easy to get through. But once they do, then you're going to have issues with your brain. That's the last thing we need. We're only operating at about 3%. Heaven forbid we work on 2% or 1%. Sometimes I feel like I'm working on 1%. So, very important to keep that in mind. All right? How EMFs affect the body. All right. Okay, hold on here. Where am I? Oh, here we go. When you look at this picture, I'm going to actually enlarge this because it's kind of small. Isaac, can they pick up on this better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you thought I said 5 big words earlier. Now I'm giving you code, okay? There are a whole bunch of letters here that don't make sense, a whole bunch of symbols. They're just thinking, what? And a whole bunch of arrows pointing this way and that way, okay? Let's start off with the microwave oven, low frequency EMF, okay? What happens is it goes through this path, and now it splits here, okay? And now you have to understand that oxidative stress happens when the radiation from the microwave comes into the body, okay? EMF can be good when it follows this path right here, okay? You see NO, CGMP. You're thinking, what does all that mean? I wish I could tell you. But bottom line here, this word therapy, it's good for bone therapy, okay? It actually helps bones heal, EMF, believe it or not. But on the flip side, if you go down this path right here, EMF has a dark side to it, okay? It's almost like Darth Vader, all right? What it does, it starts this thing called peroxynitrate, which again affects your cells to the atomic level, causes free radicals. And remember, I told you about free radicals, not good for you. The more, the worse. And then it starts this oxidative, nitrosative stress. What that does is actually now causes cell death in your body. And when your cells start dying prematurely, you got to remember, the body replenishes the cells. The cells die, and cells get replenished, okay? We're talking in the billions. But now we're talking about how the radiation from even low frequency EMFs, like a microwave oven, will affect the cells in the millions, okay? So this oxidative, nitrosative stress will kill the cells. It'll kill more cells. The thing about it is that you want to balance, right? It's almost like accounting, double entry, double journaling, where you start off with one thing. If you take away, then you add, and you still come up to zero. Ideally zero. But here, when we import all this radiation, we lose more cells than our bodies can remanufacture. So now we're in a negative. And when it comes to accounting, they're going to do audits and everything, because no such thing as being in a negative. Heaven forbid. They're going to find out where all the good stuff's going and why there's a lack of it. There's not a balance. And same thing with the body. The body says we need to be balanced. And if we're not being balanced, something's wrong. Okay, that's where the health issues start arising. Okay, now again, Professor Martin Paul is the top-notch guy, who's the one that actually gave us this nice little map for special people to understand. But I'm just breaking it down to you in layman terms. Okay, and so keep this in mind, that you want to actually watch the amount of EMF radiation that you're taking in. Okay, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. We are taking it in. Okay, let's see. Next thing. How do EMFs, again, affect the body? It degranulates mast cells and increases histamine. So you're saying, what are mast cells? You ever see a sailboat? Okay, sailboat going on the water, and you got that tall thing holding up the sails, the mast. Our skin has mast cells also, and what the EMF does, it affects or degranulates. It destroys the mast cells, and when the mast cells are destroyed, you get this thing called histamine. Okay, and then you start itching and scratching, and then you go to the store and you buy some antihistamines. You know that, right? You've heard of that before. This is the skin reactions. This is how EMFs affect your body when it comes to the skin. Okay? So next time you feel that you're getting itchy and scratchy and you're thinking, oh man, am I allergic to something? Is it an allergy response to something allergic? Guess what? It may not be. It may be EMFs. See, the question is, your doctors will probably say, yeah, it's probably something that you're allergic to. You ate shellfish or whatever, and next thing you know, now you're getting all these itchy red splotches on your skin. You know what? Doctors are not equipped and trained when it comes to EMFs. Okay, something to consider.
I ended up telling my PCP about EMFs myself. She had no idea, and pointing out to her the towers that were directly across from her office on top of another building.
Yeah. Well, gosh, again, everybody cannot know everything. Okay, and don't think just because your doctor has got a nice plaque behind him that's spent hundreds of thousands of dollars that says doctor on top there means that they know everything. They are human also, okay? And a lot of them are specialized, so they don't know everything, even in their own field sometimes. So again, just a word of warning that we actually need to take our lives back into our own hands and into our own control. And that we're not going to let anybody mess with our bodies, okay? Because it's us. We're the ones that's going to be affected by it. And you've heard so many, hundreds of thousands of people have already perished because of the snake bite, okay? Prematurely. Not the way it's supposed to be. All right, let's see what else we have here. So, it also, again, the radiation activates heat shock proteins, again, in a similar way to heat or pH, UV radiation, okay, ultraviolet radiation, especially when you get sunburn, and heavy metals. Heavy metals. I'm not talking about the rock band, okay? I'm not talking about the movie a long time ago called Heavy Metal. Heavy metals are something that's in the air that we breathe, in the water that we drink. There might even be some in here. And in the food that we eat. And guess what? When you take any type of snake bite, I'm talking about snake bite, those are loaded with heavy metals too. And like I shared before, you stick a fork inside of a microwave oven, what happens? 4th of July, pack, all that sparking. Guess what happens in your body when you're laden with heavy metals And the next thing you know, 5G is kicked on in your neighborhood, full force. Not much difference. A lot of respiratory issues, okay, and they're gonna blame C19 on it, okay, when it's really something else. All right, moving on. How do we protect ourselves from EMFs? Distance, distance, distance. Shall I say it again? Distance, distance. Did you get the message? Okay. Now, the inverse square law of light, okay, is the formula to keep in mind, okay? So if this is a source right here of your radiation, albeit RF, magnetic radiation, dirty electricity, or electric radiation, this, if you double the distance that you're away from the source, then you cut the effect of it by 75%. So take, for example, here, this says distance in meters. So this is, again, metric system, 3 feet. Okay, so say you're 1 meter away from the source, that's 100%. If you double the distance and you go to 2 meters away from the light source, then you reduce this 100% by 75%, which gives you 25%. Now you're only getting 25% of the radiation by just doubling the distance from the light source. Now, say for example, hey, wow, that's still kind of high. Well, if you double 2 meters into 4 meters, you're going to take 75% from 25%, which comes up to 6%. Now you're getting affected by 6% of the full force of radiation. 6%, that's a whole lot better than 100% or even 25%. But if you were to even double that from 4 meters to 8 meters, you take 75% away from 6%. And for you mathematicians, this is easy. For the rest of you, like me, it turns into 1.5%. Do you see the reduction? 98.5% reduction by just doubling their distance from the light source, the radiation source. This is one of the safest things you can do as far as getting away from EMFs, okay? The question is though, they're making them stronger now. They're making them closer to us. 5G has to be within, I believe, 500 feet of the next 5G source. So and you have to remember, it's a grid, okay? When you look at a grid, it's going to be every 500 feet this way, every 500 feet this way, and they're going to make a grid. And once that grid's set up and they turn it on, there's nowhere to run. And then now you actually have to say, am I far away enough from the 5G? See, it's so new that there's no studies that have actually proven what's safe when it comes to 5G. Okay? This applies to everything that's before 5G. Fourth generation radiation that's coming from the EMFs. 5G is the next rate. And you know what? In China, they're already working on 6 and 7. Okay? This is a kind of military application where you aim it at somebody and they drop dead. First they feel heated up and then they drop dead. So we're not far away from that. So distance is one of the good things for keeping yourself from being totally irradiated. Okay? What do we need to watch? What do we need to watch? We need to watch our mobile phone. That is the one device that everybody has, almost practically even children. I don't know how they can afford phones like that, because it's hard for me to buy a phone. Lisa and I were choking because when we started streaming, we only had 4G technology, 3G technology. We had to get 4G new phones. We didn't want to get 5G. We got 4G new phones so that we could do this show.
Faster.
Yeah, faster, better, made for streaming.
Even
Yeah.
Isaac got a new one.
And even Isaac got one too, yeah. So,
It'll be fun.
but the mobile phone has infiltrated our homes and jeopardized our health, okay? If you can, use a corded phone. Okay, now I'm talking about going back into history. When we were kids, okay, for a lot of us. A lot of you young people, you weren't even born yet. You weren't even an idea or a concept. Maybe a look in your parents' eyes, that's about it. But, hey, a corded phone is safe because there's no Wi-Fi attached to it. It's corded, okay?
Or the landline.
Yeah, what they call a landline. And you know what? They still have them, and you can still get it. call up your local phone provider and see if you can get a landline. So when you get phone calls coming in and it's coming on your cell phone, you can call forward from your cell phone to your landline. Then you can talk on your handset that's all corded. That's safe, okay? Don't talk on this. If you do talk on this like this, or the earbuds, and I say earbuds because it's an air tube, that's safe. Never do this, and never do the Wi-Fi, what do you call it? The Bluetooth earpods? AirPods from Apple. Don't do that because Bluetooth goes right through you. That's Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Distance, again, the earpiece. That's the AirPods I'm talking about. You plug into your ears, plug into your phone. Much safer than putting it up. If you can, text instead of call. Texting is a lot safer, okay? Or put it on your loudspeaker on your phone, okay? Yes, other people might hear, but then you can have the person on the other end of the line say, yes, you're such a good-looking, generous man. And everybody's going to hear that. It'll make you look good, right? So, loudspeaker. Use in a good reception area. Okay, now you've noticed that on their phones, you got those little bars that shows you what kind of reception you're getting. Okay, 4 bars is a good sign. That means you got good reception. But what if you're in an area where you only have 1 bar? You know that little bar, not the tall one, but the little one? Your phone is actually working extra hard to get reception. And when a phone works extra hard, that means it's actually using a whole lot more energy. And a whole lot more energy makes the phone hot, but not only that, it shoots out radiation even more than when you're on 4 bars. But you didn't know that, right? So if you're down to 1 bar and not on 4, whoa, don't. Put your phone away. Put it on airplane mode. Wait till you get to an area where you actually have 4 bars. If it's an important call, plug your earpiece in, okay? And keep the phone away from you. Keep it away from your brain and your vital organs, okay? You can't. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody living without their vital organs, right? Well,
Most of them anyway.
I've heard some people get brain surgery. Like 3/4 of their brain was taken out, and they still can think.
Or people donate a kidney.
Or they don't. Yeah, but see, if you donate both kidneys, you ain't living anymore. So, but again. Watch out, look at the reception on your phone if you're going to use it, okay? And then shielding socks. Again, covers. Do I have my shielding sock over there, Lisa? Isaac, on my table back there?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So, there's companies out there that are making EMF proof covers for your phone. And, don't put the phone in your pocket. Put it in this. Oh, this right here. Sorry. Don't put the phone by yourself in the pocket. Put the whole thing in your pocket. Or if you have a belt strap thingy here, you can put it in your belt strap. This will help reduce what's coming out of the phone. And you heard about how motorcycle policemen, the solo bikes that with the radar guns that catch you speeding. Yeah, many of you might have experienced speeding tickets from solo bikers. Hey, they're doing their job, okay? Can't fault them for that. But when they were waiting for cars to zap with their radar gun, guess where they put the gun? On their lap. What do you think it did to their reproductive organs? Sperm count reduced. Yeah, I think there's lawsuits against the company that made the radar guns because of the lack of warning or the fact that they didn't read the directions to the radar gun. But either case, it affected the reproductive organs. And now those cops wanting to have children are finding it much more difficult to have children when you have reduced sperm or eggs. If it's a female cop, eggs. So again, shielding socks, good to have. I mean, you're not eliminating totally, but you're reducing the radiation coming from it. Okay. Any questions or comments?
There's quite a few comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're talking about how Doc, he still has a landline.
Smart, Doc.
Tammy
You're a
said
man.
Most of the internet companies, they won't tell you that the internet comes with a landline that you can just plug into. So they'll want you to use and only encourage Wi-Fi.
Yeah. It's a conspiracy, and this is a truth, not a theory. It's a conspiracy truth that
And I think that, Adrian mentioned he thought they turned on 5G in quite a few areas already. So I think that maybe the major metropolitan areas.
major metropolises will be affected first. If you live out in the rural areas, in the countryside, the provinces, whatnot, you're good to go so far. It's just a matter of time. But see, right now they're using their money's being used to affect as many people in the highly dense areas, okay, the highly populated areas, so they can get more bang for their buck. You know how it is. We all want the best, the most for our dollar, or our monetary unit. And same thing with the people that want to eliminate us. Yeah, you heard me right, eliminate. All right, back to the lesson, guys. From mobile phones to what's the next dangerous thing in your house? In your house. And it's not the would-be thief or robber or murderer. It's the wireless router. Well, you can call him a murderer, because this guy is slowly killing you, okay? And the devices that come with it. If you have the opportunity to rethink things and maybe say, I need my electronics. I can't live without it. Okay? Many people cannot. We've been conditioned to. Then hardwire it. What is that hardwire, Noble? It's a Cat 5 cable, Cat 6 cable, Cat 7 cable. It's plugging in your laptop computer with an Ethernet cable that comes from your modem. Okay? That's what they call hardwire. You're not using Wi-Fi anymore, because Wi-Fi is that air, it goes through the air. You don't want that. That's what you do not want in your house, is Wi-Fi signals. You hardwire whatever you got. That'll work. You've got baby monitors, your appliances, even security cameras, hardwire. Don't do the Wi-Fi ones. Those are dangerous, okay? Keep the device away from where people spend time. Now, I shared with you guys before smart meters, and smart meters are your electrical meters outside. And now when they come to take the reading on your house, they just do it electronically. It sends out a Wi-Fi signal, tells you how much usage for the month, and you get billed. But did you know that the Wi-Fi meter is so dangerous, again, that it's putting out so much radiation that it's affecting people's health? That's why last week I spoke about this. Remember this little cage I fabricated? Kind of showed you how to do it last week. Put this over your Wi-Fi meter. Put it over your neighbor's Wi-Fi meter. Electrical meter, smart meter. Because if your neighbor's smart meter is facing you, his is more dangerous than yours. It is. So keep that in mind. Okay. Power down your router by 95%. Now, did you know that? A lot of companies will actually, they sell their products at the highest setting. But like anything else, there's a setting. You can turn it down. Not you, but the company will tell you. You have to call up the manufacturer, give them the model number of your router, and say, hey, look, I want to turn on the power on my router. You can do that. Okay, you can. Turn it down by 95%, because you know why? 5% still gets the job done. Okay, albeit not as quick, but what's more important, your health or quickness for the services you're running on your devices? Now, keep this in mind. Better not to have any Wi-Fi, routers. You can get the type of routers that are hardwired, even safer. Okay, and I forgot to mention, when you get the Cat 5, 6, 7, even 8 cables, I believe, get the types that are shielded. They're shielded cables that, again, will not allow any electrical energy to shoot out from the cable. And if you can get the ones with the metal ends, not the plastic ones, even better. Yes, it's going to cost a little bit more money, but it's safer. And aren't you worth it? Aren't you worth it? Buy a little less Haagen-Dazs, save it up to buy the better shielding cables. Okay? Tammy, did you hear me, Tammy? Doc, tell Tammy that, Doc. Okay. All right. If you can, turn it off at night. Why? Because you're sleeping. Okay? Turn it off. You don't need it up at night. Have a timer, an automatic timer, where it shuts it off at a certain time. You don't even have to go down there and unplug it or disconnect it. The timer will shut it off for you. Then, at the time you want to turn it back on, when you're up and at 'em, have it turned back on. All done by a $10 timer. And yet that $10 timer can save you So much illness. Okay. Avoid wireless printers, especially printers, because they a lot of power in those things, you know, to print. We have one, honey. We need to do something about it. We haven't hardwired our printer yet. I got everything else hardwired except the printer. If you have a mouse and keyboard, hey, you know what? You're gonna feel tingling in your arm, your hand. Justin Garcia told me that he felt that. Isaac felt that. Some of you might have felt that. Lisa, get away from the wireless stuff. Cord it back to your computer, okay? Simple fix, actually. So, all right, moving on. Oh, here we go. Children and teenagers, and I mentioned this also. Avoid mobile phones for your kids. To have them text instead of call. You know, if we could have a phone, if the phone companies could make a phone that doesn't make calls, just text, that'd be perfect for kids because it won't affect them. Remember what I mentioned earlier? Their skulls are not fully developed. And when they put the phone up against their ear, it goes right through the entire skull, right through their brain. Okay? Issues for the future. iPhones, iPads, put it in airplane mode. Okay? Have the kids, okay, oh, I want to play this game, or I want to read something. Well, then download the app or download whatever material you want, and when you download it, then put it on airplane mode, and they can still operate it, you know, because it's downloaded already. If you do it live while it's streaming, that's the dangerous part. Okay, you do not want to be streaming while you have it on you. Okay, have them put it on a tabletop. Don't put it on their laps or away from their reproductive organs. These are kids. But one day they're going to be adults, young adults. And you know what they're going to want to do? They're going to want to do the wild thing, okay? And, you know, with that, there's going to come little niños and niñas coming along. And you know what? They're going to be affected too. Because you know why? What we have, we pass on genetically, okay? Put it on the table. Holding a device is a lot better than in your hand because there's no major organs in your hand. But there are major organs here. So the farther away from your major organs, the safer, okay? And again, avoid the nighttime blue light. Remember the melatonin process? I can't stress that enough, all right? All right, here we go. In the bedroom, okay? Keep appliances or devices away at least 1.5 meters, 6 to 8 feet, okay, away from the bed, all right? Avoid, again, anything that's smart refrigerator, smart meters, smart inverters, cordless phones, which are smartphones, especially by your head. You do not want these devices by your head. Not only will it give you bedhead, you know, where your hair is all messed up and everything, it'll give you brain damage, okay? That's a true bedhead. No wired, in fact, if you can make it a rule, no wireless devices in the bedroom, period. None. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Avoid electric blankets. For some of you living up in the north, the cold, or even in, like here in Hawaii, believe it or not, it gets cold in Hawaii in certain areas. Our good friend, the Lin Key family, Marvelly, uses electric blanket like my wife does.
Not anymore.
Used to.
Not anymore.
Because they found out about how dangerous it is, they threw it out. It's not worth the health,
Well,
okay?
they're talking about how helpful our EMF blockers have been. Like Tammy said she wears hers on her wrist and she sleeps with her hand under her pillow.
Mhm.
And so that it helps with her ear ringing and
Oh, yeah.
that the halos help her
Yeah.
sleep a lot more.
It does help, but again, right now I'm talking about preventive stuff. So stay away. Don't do these. Earthing mats. You've heard of earthing mats. The one thing about earthing mats is that it's a ground. You know, earthing mats attracts electricity, and if you have a light fixture up above you, and you have an earthing mat below you, and you're right in the middle of them both, guess what? The electricity will find the least path of resistance to the earthing mat. And guess what? Our bodies are conductors. We are electrical. So it'll actually go through our body and then down to the earthing mat. So the question mark is, do I want to get an earthing mat? No, you don't. Don't. All right? Just spare yourself, all right? Any future pain. Last thing to talk about is gadgets, okay? Now, we talked about, you know, earlier a few programs earlier talked about shielding, like shielding paints, for example. Shielding paints, this is your window film, window film, to block out solar rays and whatnot. They have film that blocks out EMF rays too. Bed canopies, clothing, but they only will protect you from the electric field radiation and the radio frequency radiation. I said there were 4. 2 down, 2 left to affect you. So these things are good when it comes to electric field and RF, but it won't affect magnetic radiation and even, I'm not sure about the dirty radiation, dirty electricity. It might have help, but magnetic radiation, that's the one that causes leukemia in kids again. That comes from high transmission lines and from poor wiring in your house. Okay, I'll go into that later. If your device creates, unless the device creates a distance between you and the source, it's likely to give you any benefit. This is, when you buy this and you think, oh well, I can buy a device that'll help cut down the amount of radiation from the phone that'll transfer over to me. If your phone can still get a reception, if it still can get a phone call, and the device you purchased to put over it or whatever, and I'm not talking about this is a shielding stock, but I'm talking about some other kind of gadgets that they have. If you're still getting a signal, then it's not working. Maybe it reduced it a little bit, but it's still gonna get the radiation over to you. So don't spend the money on something that's gonna give you a false sense of security. Okay? Again, just trying to save you money and make you wiser, okay? So keeping that in mind. Where are we going on time? Oh, wow. Yeah.
I just realized why they tell people to put your phone on airplane mode in the plane. Because can you imagine the phone giving off all that radiation?
Everybody's
while you're
phone.
Stuck in a box.
In a metal box.
In a metal box.
Yeah. Again. So again.
What,
Loud.
YO just also brought up the point of remotes, like TV
Remote control. Yes. Infrared.
Don't fall asleep with the thing in your lap. Like,
Yeah. So true. Thanks for reminding me. I mean, there's so many wireless devices out there. Wow, you're on it. Good. Thank you for sharing that. Again, anything that's wireless and yet it's electronic, that's a caveat. Beware, right? Beware. So again, just avoid, internal sources, and we already went over this, okay? And more stuff, again, lighting, entertainment centers, laptops, thermostats also. You got the new Nest thermostats that are wireless. Again, pool equipment, security systems, anything that feeds off the internet is dangerous, okay? Again, smartphone, tablets, again, install corded phones. Again, we went through this. You see it on here. If you need to need to look at it better, stop your video, go back and watch it again. And here's your meters that'll kill you, because they're so smart they'll kill you. Okay, gas meter, water meter, and electric meter, and then all the things that go along with it: refrigerators, washer dryers, microwaves. I mean, it's endless, the technology. Okay, now some of you remember last week I told you that my smart meter, I made an aluminum screen cage for it right here. You can barely see the numbers on that thing, right? This is it on my box here. Another view. And this is what it looked like before I put it on there. You could read everything on here. And guess what? That's all going to my next door neighbor. And his is all coming to me. Okay? This is the array that I have. This is on the side of my house. Okay? What do I plan to do? So now that we covered this part, everything metal is keeping all the energy from going across the yard to my neighbor. But wait a minute. What about on the other side of the wall? What's behind it? Is there metal behind the boxes? You know what? I'm not sure. But being the MacGyver that I am, we had an old stove that broke on us. I took 2 of the panels from the stove, cut off the edges, and now I got sheet metal to work with. Okay? I painted the sheet metal to the color of my house, and now, No, that's it. I plan to put it behind here. So I'm going to disconnect it. You see the little bolts that hold it to my house. I'm actually going to disconnect it, slide the sheet metal behind it, and now my house, which is right here to my left, so I'm getting zapped right now from this, you know, will be safer because of shielding, okay? And it's all about, again, trying to protect yourself as much as possible, okay? And let me actually take you to the next thing I want to show you. All right. You remember this thing, the 4 types of EMFs, okay? Some of you might have seen this picture before. Nikola Tesla, okay? He invented the, what's that called again? To create all this power. I've read it, I've memorized it, and I forgot it.
Well, he also used the old world technology.
Yeah.
Like his invention.
But you notice that he's calmly reading a book because he created a Faraday cage, okay? A Faraday cage. Here's another version of a Faraday cage. Oh, a coil. Nikola Tesla invented the superconductive coil, okay? So you see these electric bolts. This is dangerous. I mean, if you get shocked by this, you know, you're compromising your health or your life. But you see that there's a kid in there, there's an adult in here, and they're totally protected in this Faraday cage because it's metallic. In essence, that's what we're doing to our homes. We're creating a Faraday cage. But the thing about it is that, you know, a Faraday cage is meant to keep things out and meant to keep things in. Kind of looks like a shark cage, you know, for you Aussies, Adrian. That looks like a shark cage, right? I guess these people are working their way up to sharks by going in between a couple coils, you know what I'm saying? But what's dangerous on the outside can also be dangerous on the inside, because why? If this cage got disconnected from the boat, then you're stuck in the water at the bottom of the ocean with sharks swimming around, great whites at that, and how dangerous is that? If you have a Wi-Fi router, a modem, and wireless devices inside the house, and you created a nice Faraday cage around your house, guess what? It's all bouncing back and forth in your house, zapping you even more than before. So before you start shielding your home, you need to deal with the Wi-Fi, the internet powered Wi-Fi out of the house. You have to get it out of the house first. You can easily use it from the outside of the house inwards. But once you put the shield up and it's inside with you, it's like keeping it's like having a nest of bees in a room with you. Yeah, it actually happened upstairs in one of my bedrooms. Honeybees started making a house in my wall. And I said, oh no, I can't have that. I took the drywall out and I had the bee suit on and the door was shut and all these bees started flying in the room with me. It scared the bejesus out of me. Because I still had the suit, but just affected all these bees buzzing. Wow. Well, guess what? EMFs are just like bees. They're worse than bees, okay? Unless you're allergic to bees, and that's just as bad or deadly. All right, so again, cages are getting smaller, power is getting bigger, but you're still safe inside, all right? Look at this guy. This cage is built for him. That's gutsy, but he's protected. And that's what we need to do, is to be smart with all the EMFs out there, to be knowledgeable, to be practical, and to start applying it. Because, I mean, if you want to live a few more years, you really have to seriously start contemplating what to do here, okay? Now, if you can, contact the nearest building biologist to where you live. Yes, you heard me right, building biologist. It's a new term I haven't heard of 4 months ago. You're saying, what's a building biologist? They're people that go into your home with their special meters, and they're able to determine what type of fields, remember there's 4 EMF fields, is generating in your house, what you're being affected by. What room is the most dangerous room? What's the safest room in your house? You know, what's giving you the most power, you know, from what source or whatnot. Again, there's 4 types of fields, so 1 meter doesn't do it all. In fact, it's almost like you have to have 1 meter for each field. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right? That's pretty much it. Here's an article from Popular Mechanics. 5G truthers bought a Faraday cages to protect their routers. They're mad because they worked. You know, there's again, if you subscribe to Popular Mechanics, you can read this article. This is actually a pretty cool picture right here. Look at this. Look at this Faraday cage. Look at all that. Look at all the power going in there. And again, there's companies duping people into buying fake Faraday cages that will block harmful radiation and 5G. You know, something's better than nothing. But again, we need to be studied up first, so we know how to do things in what order. There's a protocol we need to follow. Okay. So with that, again, I want to end my program here, and hope that you will start to do research. Oh, look at my wife over here. That's Lisa at a shooting gallery. I'm teaching her how to shoot a gun to protect herself. Watch out. This is almost like Tammy, you know, dangerous white lady, you know. The mount is not bad enough. You gotta have a gun too. So I hope you guys will seriously consider the things that I've been sharing with you for the past weeks. You know, this is a non-profit organization. We do sell items so we can keep producing shows like this, update our equipment, and hopefully get more knowledge and wisdom so we can impart it upon you. Again, that building biology thing I'm talking about, my dream or my desire is to actually become a building biologist so I can help more people, especially people that cannot afford it. They're not cheap. If you can afford it, good, get it. If not, then that's what hopefully I hope accomplish, to help bring people more wisdom and knowledge with their homes. All right. Well, with that, Honey, anything you want to say? Anything to share?
No, Isaac's gonna play the closing video.
Okay. All right.
And we'll say a big shalom to everybody.
Oh, okay. All right. Isaac, we're going to the big screen, sitting on top of the bench.
Oh, he's been, it's okay, he'll just do that.
Oh, okay. All right, then we're going to be signing off, guys. Thanks for joining us again. Next week, join us next week. We're going to have Alan Pagba again back to teach us something new and healthy to make so that we can, again, take it in. It's all about stopping the pain, okay? Whether preventing harmful things or putting in good things into our bodies so that we can survive the onslaught of what's going to be coming. The healthier we are, the better. If you are free from any snake bites, good for you. Stay that way. Stay the course. That's the biggest thing that will jeopardize your health and your life. And if you have taken it, I'm sorry, that you did. Again, we can pray to our Almighty God for intervention. Okay, that's really all I can say, because this world is out to get us. Okay, it's time that we fight back. All right. Shalom, everybody. God bless you. Have a good day. How are you?